How is Tao?
How was
Tao.
Tao? Like like Tao Te Ching Tao?
Tao, the supreme you,
Yeah,
the everything
good,
you.
good. I yeah, it was an interesting week for sure. Very challenging emotionally,
Oh, you were MIA. I was worried.
but I made it through. Yeah, we had a storm and we lost power. And this is the first house I've been in where if you lose power, you don't have water either because there's a pump. So
Oh,
we were also out of water. So I was like hauling buckets for the toilets and then
wow.
trying to keep everything clean and yeah, hoping our food didn't spoil and realizing how unprepared I am for
The
end
doomsday.
times.
All it takes is just to cut the cord.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, I made it 2 days. I'm out.
Wow.
Yeah. But we're good now. Yeah, it was emotionally just it was a lot. So I'm grateful for the depth that I got to wade into the waters again and feel what it feels like to um, feel cut off and isolated. I got to read a lot, did some meditation, did some journaling, which is
Mm,
new for me. So it opened up you know, I was hearing from this astrologer who's Iranian, and she said Iranians have a long history of taking struggle and turning it into poetry and music and dancing. And yeah, I was reminded of that. So it's beautiful.
wow.
How are you?
It takes a crisis.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It ends up being funny on the other side, right? So, but in the midst of it, you're like
Yeah.
drowning.
Hmm.
A different storm on my side. I think I'm just so busy. The other couple of nights I stayed until 3 a.m. to work.
Oh
I'm
my
just
gosh.
busy. My mind, my requirement to survive is pulling my mind into a extreme, so I cannot rest. I
Oh my
have
gosh.
not enough time to sleep actually and rest and be quite regulated, right? So the sleep deprivation is dysregulating me because there's so much I have to do. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying. So it's a
Yeah,
different story.
that can kill you eventually or
Mm.
quickly.
Well, for someone who has heart activated, this is impossible to do.
Yeah.
So I can only do that much until I totally just give up of
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
it. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because no one wants to learn what I do. And I'm like, free knowledge. I will teach you
Right.
everything I know. Free, for free. You don't have to have 15 years of experience. No, you have me. I will give you everything. And no one wants to do what I do. So
So they must have some kind of plan in case you were to leave or I mean they would just
oh,
plug
they'll
someone else
show
in
they'll
and hope they figure it out.
yeah, their last time, 2 years ago, their plan, they hired 5 people to replace me. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. The plan is to hire as many minds as possible to replace one. It's silly because it's just a big responsibility. If my one number is wrong, other departments are wrong. So
Yeah.
it's very weird structure and unique skill to have, but I'm not. I just know what I'm doing. It's really hard. You have to go through experience. That's why life experience actually makes money. It's not
Mm.
formula and mathematics, right? So it's knowing
Yeah.
when to deviate from it. And they're afraid to take such responsibility.
Hmm.
And I was like, all you have to do is not lie. Don't lie. Say all the truth. Say everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Bring
yeah.
everything to the table. And that is so frightening to people.
Yeah,
So
especially in a white collar setting. It's terrifying.
Totally. And I'm not
Is
good
it?
in lying.
Yeah.
No
Is it
skill.
more?
Mm.
Is your office a little bit Easternized? Is it a little more like Chinese culture? Is it still very Western American culture?
You know, what's interesting. It is speeding up more than Western culture wants to admit. Westernized culture is very lazy, actually. Very
Hmm.
lazy. They don't want obligations. They don't want to have such responsibility. They want to take it slow, very slow in advance. But Chinese culture is very fast and it's growing faster. Serbian culture, I can get things done, but I also need to have my life. And if that
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
is not a, if that's not possible, then I'm out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
Yeah.
get killed by both.
It's an
That's why.
interesting year.
Yeah, this horse fire is
Hmm.
like, it's lighting these alignment. This everything is about Pisces. Every single thing is coming through the Piscean realm right now, and I'm having so much fun because it's very comfortable realm to do. But yet, everywhere
Yeah.
I go, a lot of people, it's just like at the edge, freaked
Yeah,
out,
very edge. Hmm.
very edged.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder if April's gonna bring relief or further. Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's like it's probably gonna feel faster,
Hmm.
but maybe not as much yin and yang all at once type of thing, you know? So, we'll see.
It's also like a good opportunity to have fun.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And if you can't have fun in the midst of it, to have fun when you get so disturbed. It's weird to say. It's totally weird to say you can't have fun in the midst of it, but you can try.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
try to find some humor in it. And you know, me and my mom, because she's in Europe, I'm in the United States. Both are under the risk for whatever, domination or war or whatever. It's just
Hmm.
any information at this point is doomsday, right? So it's not positive. And we laugh at it all. And if we don't laugh and we don't have a daily dose of laugh for it, we would like what would you do if you don't laugh about? Meaning not
Right.
laugh about what is happening, but rather than find some fun. So we bring the songs that are old and traditional folklore songs that are so descriptive in nature. And we somehow talk through the song, and the songs are just coming in, and our conversation becomes very song driven, which is a rupture of the heart. And we always find some topic to laugh about it in the song, not in
Mm.
the world, right? But you have to laugh. You have to find
Hmm.
some belly laughs.
Hmm. Hmm.
It
Yeah.
lifts off the weight of it. Yeah. So, so how did you like this one? Oh, yeah. I love this one in the end. That's why I didn't want to stop.
Mm.
So good.
Yeah, so suppose you are gradually being deprived of strength or knowledge. At the instant of deprivation, transcend is the first one, and then devotion freeze is the second one. The first one I haven't been able to experience it myself. I've heard of people who, I have a friend who has, or can get herself into a state of, gosh, what's it called? When you like literally can't move.
The paralysis.
Yeah, sleep paralysis.
Have you experienced
Uh,
that before?
no, that's what I'm saying. I haven't.
Never.
No, I don't know why that is, but she actually views it like she's scared of it. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and that's what I've heard from other people too. It's like the feeling of not having control. Meanwhile, I'm a Pisces. I'm like, teach me how. Like I want to learn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, Yeah, but I haven't experienced it. But it's reminding me a lot of all of, again, the astral travel instructions and the way that Osho's talking about it. He's like at the instant, like get up and look at your body and realize it's separate. Yeah, it's like he's just. I'm like, oh, Osho, are you? Is this part of the awakening of your astral body? And I get into my a little bit more logical. Have a hard time hearing it for what it is and just accepting it. But as I was reading, I was very, very, very tired, and I wanted to do it so bad, but I knew that I would just fall asleep and would be gone. And part of my thinking is, and as I've been exploring my personal health recently, I'm like, I wonder if I've been chronically sleep deprived for the majority of my life.
Mm,
And that prevents some of these things that you can access. I don't know how true that is, but with having like gut issues and a poor diet, I've had insomnia for as long as I can remember and would wake up random hours of the night. And yeah, so maybe that's part of it.
mm,
Who knows? But I do find it makes sense to me intellectually, emotionally, like this feeling of dying, this feeling of like the energy being sucked out of you. Um, and he talked a lot about the identification with body and what comes along with that. Yeah, it's
mm,
interesting, that one. How about for you?
mm.
Have you ever experienced sleep paralysis?
Once
Mm-hmm.
last year, actually, recently.
What
And I
happened?
remember vividly, I was actually curious about the state. I wasn't afraid. I was stuck in my body. My body was just this form. And I woke up in the middle of the night, not being able to move the body from inside. And I remember that I was so aware that I am in a sleep paralysis. Literally, I was like, "Oh, this must be it." It literally dawned to me in the middle of it, and I was like, "Oh my God, let me see if I can lift this part of the body." No, if I can lift this part of the body, no, and I just maintained myself. I stayed within the body, but not in the body.
Mm.
It was so cool. I woke up, I was like, I can't believe I just experienced this. I don't know what got me there. How did I get there? It was just something I entered into. It was
Mm.
actually really, really, really cool. And
Mm.
one thing I want to also add, I did the meditation with one of the, I don't know how to call her. I really don't know. Is she an astrologer, a psychotherapist, a intuitive? I don't know. But she has a store here in LA, and she is doing the tarot. Like I really don't know. How do you
Yeah.
call someone who who's just
Occultist.
yeah. So I attended one of her meditations, which was the leaving the body. And I remember her guided meditation was to go down deep into the elevator. And
Mm-hmm.
as she guided us all to go down, deep down, I ended up going up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going up and turning around to see myself from the corner of the room that we were in. And I was doing, it was as if I was doing multiple different things at the same time. I was listening to meditation. They were all down into the deep undergrounds where you dig out, underworlds, actually, underworld. And I ended up going up there and I was like, I can't help it. I'm there. So I'm not going
Mm.
to try to imagine hell when I'm in heaven, an example.
Mm.
So I was like turning around and I was able to see myself from that angle down sitting in the meditation. I saw every single detail. So something in me split and I left from there and I was able to see. But of course, you need to use your imagination for it. And it's very hard to even imagine yourself from a different angle outside of yourself to see the details of your vehicle, right? Of your temple, of your body. And I thought that was really cool. And the
Yeah.
third instance is that I talk of Vipassana, that my awareness was elsewhere and it came back inside of me. And I was then also aware of these two layers that are, that are very different, right? So it wasn't one, it was two parts of me, the two me. So all these instances gave me the sense of, oh my God, I can split. Like something in me can split, and I can literally feel the difference between splitting. And I don't know how to
Hmm.
name that. So I don't know what that can be. But I loved it because and also want to add one more thing, sorry. I didn't see you for a week. That's a lot. So I want to add, you said you're suffering from insomnia,
Hmm.
sleep deprivation. And you know how he was mentioning, because I suffer the same. And I often wonder, is it because our energy, because we're so tuned into the collective that sometimes, often, we don't even know whose energy we're dealing with. It can be someone else's, right? Because when you have a part you that is so open to become we or to become everything and tune into the everything, you really don't know who you're dealing with. What are you
Hmm.
dealing with, right? So I don't think that I'm tired all the time because I did something to get tired. I also think I get tired because on behalf of someone else. Seriously,
Yeah.
that I don't I'm waking up in the middle of the night in a specific hour time frame, which is 2 to 4. It
Yeah,
has
me too.
been, you see.
Yeah.
So I think we're dealing with
Schumann.
something else.
Yeah,
What
Schumann
about it?
has been going crazy. And then so typically Schumann is like related to that early wake up time. And then on top of it, like the solar flares and everything. Again, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
is this just how it is? Or is this unique to our time? It's hard to tell. But I think it's like, yeah, you're pointing to the truth is there's like the morphic resonance of the collective. There's also Schumann, and then there's also solar energy. There's also planetary
yes,
influence that we can't quite name scientifically yet beyond just gravity. I think it's something probably more profound than that. And so I think it's just that we're open. We're more open to
to
these
energies.
influences. Yeah. So,
So the deprivation of the sleep, is it, like when we lose the energy and we feel really bodily tired, um, I'm sensing always like because my mind is working so much, I'm wiped out for the day. When my mind is activated so much, I am totally wiped out. But when my energy work is doing its own thing and flowing in and out, I'm not really tired. I have so much excess that I have to go and express it in the gym, to run, to punch, to do something, right? So
yeah.
I don't know if you recall when, I think it was Osho when he said, the more out of your mind you are, the less time you need to sleep, actually, which means you have more work to do, but on an
Uh,
energetic level, work to do.
yeah. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah. And of course, I don't know how this struck you, but his story of like running the body down and just keep running the body down, keep running, keep running.
Until you collapse.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't get through that. I can't get through like the analogy because I used to run track in college and had many practices where I ran until collapse. Um, and it was a deep identification with the body. It was like there's nothing else except body. Like this heaving breath and the sweat and like the nausea from just the fatigue and the
Mm.
burn in your legs. Like it's very body for me. So I can't imagine. I'm like, oh my, is it worth trying anew with a different perspective, like to escape it instead of, well, not escape really, but like you said, split to separate something instead of this deep identification.
Yeah. Um, Rover, have you ever did the Rover
I
machine?
want to, yeah, the ski erg, I want to, but I've never been able to.
The skier and the Rover. Yeah.
Hmm.
These two, I always say they transcend me
Yeah, yeah.
because you're so tied to the rope, and then your body just gets into this like motion constantly, constantly. The body starts tingling whole,
Hmm.
And when you tingle, and so you're out of breath because you're activated so much through the, you activate. So if you hold for 3, 4 minutes, which is so hard to do, you almost are at the edge of passing out.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, um, a couple times it happened to me. Somehow I'm so buzzing underneath because I'm so activated that my mind is getting, woo, and I still continue and I'm pushing. And I push more to the exhaustion, so much so that I no longer feel the body. And then I'm pushing, pushing, pushing. I'm about to faint. And I know, and I'm laughing inside of the state that I just entered into. So, and
Mm-hmm.
then of course I collapse and I'm like, I can't do next 2 exercises because I push myself so much. And I always say this machine transcends me. I'm not joking because it's like if I only hold for 3, 4 minutes of full force and I push, I my body starts I stop feeling the pain in the body. Reminds me of Marina Abramovich. This is her technique. This is exactly her technique. Hold through the pain of the body
Mm-hmm.
when you get numbed and you have to push through it. And once you push through it, you actually feel no pain.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Mm.
cool. I don't know if that can be done with the running, because running you have to hold your balance, but this may help because you're already balanced, right? You're standing there, you can't fall.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. It's like, hmm. And I had
So
a
good.
I had a pretty ruthless coach who I think he was like, I think for track coaches, you have the very dedicated ones who are only interested in improving the athlete's performance. And there's some element that comes along with that of like pushing past the boundaries of being a bit tough, as a coach. Like, come on, like keep going. Like you're not done yet. But then there's a lot of coaches who come from like a lineage of pain and suffering and pushing through it as the means of success. And like that's like the sole thing. And then you have like some loose understanding of how to train and how to get better. And I think that was what my coach experienced was he went through like the abuse of it, and so it was laid back on us, down the
Mm,
line. So we had like for me being like short sprinter, we had workouts that were just unreasonable for getting faster in that way, but they were, we would do like hill sprints, this massive hill, the biggest one in the city, and you run for 30 seconds at a time up the hill, and then you basically jog back down and then start again. And you do like 3 sets of 3 with like a little bit longer break in between each. And consistently, like, is every Monday and in the snow, in the rain, in the sleet, in the fog, whatever. And every single one, I would dread it. I would get like the butterflies in my throat before, or whatever you want to call it, like the frog. Um, would throw up like every week after, and yeah, I I know the feeling of like runner's high or like eclipsing, and then it's like you go over that and then you keep pushing and then eventually you come back into like this deep, like you're just in the body. And I don't know, maybe that's
mm.
something for me to work on, but I haven't really in terms of like exercise and movement, I haven't really pushed myself in a long time. I can't think of the last time I pushed myself that hard. So that's interesting. Like I don't have a gym. So if I went to the beach and just started sprinting until I collapsed, maybe I'll try that sometime.
One thing I learned in yoga, body is the laziest thing ever
Mm,
that exists. Doesn't want to do anything. We actually have to put an effort to it
mm-hmm.
to make it healthy. Or speaking of, really, is it healthy or is it dying? Anyway,
Yeah.
is it healthy or
Well,
is it dying?
well,
Yeah.
interesting paradox I'm becoming really aware of now in this storm of like not being able to move. I also had a day where I woke up and my phone was dead. I didn't have service. And Carly she had to take the car out so she could get some work done. So it was just me and the kids. I didn't even know what time of day it was. We didn't have water, food, like and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." But it like brought me to this place of um, deep awareness about my habits and like how much I was like, "Well, I just want to."
Dependent.
I don't even know what I need. I just want to like open it and see, did someone text me or what are people talking about? Of course, like these loops that we run. And then the other side of it is like it was raining and storming and it was so windy. We obviously didn't go to the beach and that's where I do my workouts. That's where I like operate my body and I push through and I do movement. I go to the dances. I wasn't able to do any of that for about 5 days and feeling more pain, like waking up with like aches in my neck and like my legs are sore. I'm like, but I'm not, I'm not moving, and I'm like really keenly aware now that like what I need, what my body needs is to move and to like to push and to do things. And that's actually when I feel um the least amount of pain. That's actually when I feel, the most connected, the most alive and yeah, I
So
don't
when
know how I'm
all that
saying
is
that.
gone, when all that is impossible to do, you said you realize your habits and your the dependencies, that the
Yeah.
habitual ritual way of living. Did anything else come to your contemplation? Did anything else come to your awareness as a shock like that?
Um yeah, just how tired I was. Like I would like nap at like 7 in the morning. Well, I don't know what time it was, but I would just fall asleep and the kids are just playing around. They're like, Dad, what are we gonna do? And why are you laying there? I'm like, I'm just so tired. Just, and I would just sleep. Um, but in terms of like big epiphanies, hmm, I had some things come up in journaling, which were like connecting me to what do I want to manifest or like what do I want to bring forth? Because we're entering Aries season. We're leaving this like tumultuous time as a Pisces with all these outer planets. Um, so it's like, so it's like this is a very active time, but there's intentionality to what you want to bring forth. And so I spent a lot of time in that, in like a little like half in review of my life and then half in like what do I want to continue or what's been going well or what do I want to bring in that's not here. And in doing so, just this one exercise of like rec account all of the most pivotal events and experiences of your life and then what insight you gained from it. And I was like, oh yeah, like I have my 3 or 4 things. And I started writing and then pretty soon I had filled out the whole list. And each one was like a chapter in a book that I'm like, this would be really interesting because like they're so different and they seem very extreme for the most part. And I'm like, it's funny how in my day to day, I've kind of lost touch with how crazy I am, like how wild and expansive and exploratory and interesting life can be. And then also in that reflection, realizing like my social anxiety and some of my awkwardness is not being able to bridge that gap of like, you know, mundane table talk or like how's the weather, like how's your day, like this sort of thing. And my interest is in the depth of what's a pivotal moment where you had like huge insight and it's hard for people to pull that in because we get so distracted by all of the the mundane paying the bills and buying food and yeah it's just so in that insight it's like maybe for me to be more interesting, and I've heard this said, is I can be more interested, and to be more interested, I actually have to be interested instead of just faking it. And if this is what's interesting to me, then I should find a way to elicit these stories from people. And then it's like, okay, now I'm seeing where the gap is I'm actually like socially very lazy. If the conversation isn't stimulating, I just don't participate. There's a little bit of like protecting energy and um not like losing myself in everyone else's bullshit, but there's also like I can just show up with intentionality, or like I told Carly, I'm like it'd be probably good for me to have these stories kind of modeled or like templated, and I can just pull the template out and be like, this reminds me of this one time, and I can tell a story instead of just like the Piscean. Sometimes the Piscean wisdom is like, do this, don't do this. And well, that's, like very, very, very top down, very, very high level, and people can't relate to it. And so I just noticing like, um, you don't feel relatable, but you want to feel relatable. You feel alone a lot, but you want people to like you. But then there's also, you don't really care. Like, it's just like being a Pisces is weird.
Hello.
That's what it comes down to.
It's the best thing ever. Wait, but I have to ask you, what happens if you're just you and you just talk your stuff? What happens?
Well,
As deep as you can go, what happens if you really say something that you truly want to
yeah.
say?
Yeah, I wonder if in realizing with like the power outage, like how much it's just like rote memory and habit. I wonder if socially there's just like rote memory and habit of like how I'm supposed to say things, what you say back to someone. And I'm like, if I just eclipse all of that, like shut it out and then allow whatever's there to bubble up, I don't know. And there's certain people where you naturally feel more comfortable and then it just occurs. But then there's an element too of like, can I also eclipse the discomfort and still let it come up, even though I'm like fearing judgment or criticism or shame or whatever? Yeah.
You're fearing it, but is it happening?
Um,
Judgment and criticism.
oh, I don't know. I mean, part of my point is like just contemplating, am I myself or am I this default programming? And
Mm,
so like it's enough for me to become aware of it when I'm alone and I have all of this time. Can I bring some of that awareness into a social situation where it feels like less time to like sit with
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I mean, I know how you feel. And then I got to a point. That's why 30s, you know, it kind of matures inside of you in a sense. I can't explain it. It's really weird. But now I'm like, if this is what I feel, I'm gonna say it, even if everybody stops talking.
Yeah.
You just care less. And that comes with that like maturity inside of you because you contemplate more inside who you are and you can't help it but not to be just who you are. The only thing
Hmm.
you can do is just choose not to say anything. But you're still you. So when I'm in a social gathering, I just say, um, yeah, we're all gonna die. Why fret? That's a
Yeah.
terrifying thought to say in front of someone who is just blah blah blah. I'm getting married. I'm doing all of this. I'm preparing. I'm buying a house. I was like, for what?
Hmm.
But I think that there's a part of me that matured enough to laugh even at myself. So when I say it with such a lightness that it's not direct penetration of fear into someone, and they're like brushing it off really fast. And I'm noticing them brushing it off, but I'm still part of the conversation. I'm me, you're you. Somewhere there down, deep inside of you, this will stay as a seed and you will contemplate maybe 5 years from now. I have time. right? So it's like I am not shying away of being me any
Mm-hmm.
longer. And this happened in the last 4 years because I was
Yeah.
equally awkward. And I actually hated hanging out with people that I cannot connect with. And I would drink. And when I would drink, then I would loosen up and talk stupid things,
Mm-hmm.
irrelevant things. And I would be so out of me, not even be me anymore, that it was so easy to connect when I'm not me.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then when I stopped doing all of that to escape me, I met me. And when I met me, I could no longer not be me. And now everywhere I go,
Mm-hmm.
I'm me and I'm too complex for people. I'm too, so much so that I even hear it. A friend of mine, who's really good friend of mine, she said, all you do, you just talk blah, blah, bullshit. And you think nobody understands you. I get what you're saying. And I was like, oh my God, you made me cry. And then you made me realize I love my blah, blah, bullshit.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore my blah, blah, bullshit. And I'm gonna continue. So I thank you for confirming what I what I am. But she
Mm-hmm.
said it in a joking way. You can, of course, get stung by someone else's, perceptions, right? It doesn't matter. But he actually didn't change. He just reconcretized my blah, blah bullshit. And I'm like, now we're blah, blah bullshit friends, but you can always come back to me and we can talk deep, real deep truth, that which is
Mm-hmm.
scary, that which is possible. I mean, we can go beyond because I am there most of the time. I am not here. So I can't talk to you about purses and bills. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But you can come, you're more than welcome to come in my way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what happens then, and just to add to that, that's when the falling off happens and
Mm-hmm.
you have to deal with it, right? So you have to be ready to have people leave your environment
Mm-hmm.
and really walk
Yeah.
away and not talk to you. Yeah.
I just want to double click on something you said. I met myself. You said I met myself, and it's like I couldn't have it any other way. And I think in reflecting on that, like something struck a chord with me of like, oh, when I'm dancing the puppet strings, when I'm like dancing for someone else's entertainment or trying to like say the right thing, I'm not, I've lost myself. And that's what feels so destabilizing about social interactions is like, where did I go? Because that wasn't me. What did I just say? Like, who was,
Yeah.
like, why did I do that? And it's like, that's the awkwardness. And people can feel the awkwardness and they're like, and that creates this gap and it's hard to
Mm.
close the gap. And I will say, like, in, in a deep way, I've been leaning into that more. I'm just finding my silence was a tool of survival from a young age instead of a tool of connection to something within me. Like, and so now it's like a default for me to just be quiet. But I
Mm.
have like a lot to say usually, and I have a desire to connect with people and part of me like maybe Aries rising Taurus moon like wants to shake people up with like how strong my values are and how deeply I've thought through things and how bold I am and how heretical I can be. It's like it's kind of like the kink part of can I say something that just throws everyone off? Like there's an element there too. Um, but it's just been this like conditioning around don't rock the boat. Like, you know, your ideas are too big, too wild, too loud,
Gosh.
not needed. Yeah, too much.
Oh, I think you're an ocean to explore. And how come that doesn't happen with us?
Yeah, because like you've said this before multiple times. No agenda, no what are the three things?
No judgment.
No judgment, no expectation. That's what it comes down to. And so there's certainly people where I feel that and I lean in and we are you learn it because it's rare to just meet a stranger and pop off. Well, I should say this Iranian girl that we met at the beach the other day. She must have some Gemini because she just talks, and she's in theater. She does like she does plays all around the country. Um, but she's so open-hearted and willing to be ridiculous and silly and just very performative in that way that it just I'm like, oh, I have, there's nothing that I could do that would be more awkward in my mind than what you just did. And it's kind of like a social release valve. Like these people, they're gonna do the most um
Outrageous.
outrageous things. It releases all the pressure in the room or in the environment.
Mm,
Everyone feels more relaxed. It's really a gift. Yeah.
mm, yeah. And and I'm thinking, you know, it's the fact that we don't have a often conversations that are deeply penetrating and deeply healing, that you can connect to that level with someone else. But also what I'm feeling and thinking is that I'm almost in search of someone who has capacity to listen, not only talk. I think
Hmm.
the listening part is what we're seeking. If you really, because if you're able to hear someone else's input, then you can then start exchanging. There's no exchange if the person in front of you just wants to talk and doesn't want to listen. That's the conversation is impossible. It is the monologue
Yeah.
between the two. And who
Hmm.
wants to sit there and listen to someone else's? So it's almost like a search to try to find, search for someone who uses the ears and is curious in mind. And otherwise, the rest is impossible to even connect to. So I'm not even trying. I'm playing games, but I really want to talk to someone who can listen because I am able to listen. If I'm able to listen to your talk, I have this really cool story. Friend of mine who was my high school friend, like almost like primary secondary school. I've known her for 12 years, and I went home, came a couple years ago, and we ended up going to pizza. And we're like, we didn't catch, let's catch up on everything. Pizza, massive pizza in front of us, 2.5 hours. I'm eating pizza and she's talking. And I'm eating and eating and eating. And I said, okay, I'll drive you home. And then 2.5 hours, I said nothing. I caught up on everything that she has to tell me for the last 5 years. I said nothing. She actually didn't really, she wasn't there for it. She wasn't curious about what, as if my life didn't exist, right? So as if it's not important what happened in my life, equal, right? So there's this balance immediate. So I listened and listened and listened, and I ate entire pizza because she was talking entire time. And then I drove her home and I said, next time we hang out, I talk and you listen. And we never hung out after that.
Yeah.
But watch, I'm aware of what is happening. I'm playing her game, but I'm also
Hmm.
aware that me too is valuable for me.
Hmm.
And she doesn't see that I am valuable. So I can't connect to that, which doesn't see and doesn't listen. And I didn't even try. But I
Yeah.
absolutely wasted 2.5 hours. If it was not for pizza, I would be like, oh my God, I would regret
It's
for
not
going.
for pizza.
Seriously. We're seeking the ears to listen and mouths to talk and exchange with. It's beautiful to have these two. That's why it's really hard to connect. I think Western cultures are really, really hard to exchange with. But if you go to any other cultures that are socializing the exchange, I mean, even everywhere now, everybody's westernized in a sense when it comes to talk. So, if I don't know how to listen, what's the point of talking, actually? Really?
Mm. Mm. Yeah, it's beautiful and it's true. And listening is more than just okay, it's like I've had to learn this through this podcast with you of, as you're talking, up this desire in me to say something comes up and then I wait until you're finishing talking. Everything you said beyond that point is just meh, 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 meh. And then I go say my point, and then you're like, what? Like, okay, I guess it's related. It's like this like disruption. It's not truly listening. There's a So what I've had to learn is like letting go of this thought bubble that feels so important, that feels like I have to get it out. It's like, oh, she's gonna love it. So relevant. Meanwhile, you're continuing on. There's more to the story. There's more to like your own contemplation. And I'm invalidating that by just attaching to what's coming up for me. Um, so there's an element of that too. There's an element too of like body language, emotion, like that deep listening that happens.
Yeah.
Um, this has happened to Carly, like, that's something that I've been able to see as a third party and witness of like people attaching to her and then just using her for like that same sort of thing. Like, oh, I'm going to tell you all my problems, all my stories, all my gossip, all my drama. All right, see you next time. And then it's like, and then there's like the in between, which is like, you're such a good friend. I'm so appreciative of you. Like this building it up. And then you meet, and then there's like one sidedness building it up because they're getting like high value from you as a friend,
They're
but
dumping.
there's no true balance. There's no true like, like the Libra is missing. There's no
Hmm.
balance of opposites, and they're not willing to actually listen to what you have to say. Uh, So there's actually like, yeah, I guess you're saying dumping. It's kind of the same thing. It's like there's not an appreciation of value in who you are or your experience or your opinions. It's just a platform to rest my stress and my worries and my concerns or my stories. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
And she's had to go through similar breakups with friends. Um, and luckily, some of them have come around to see the truth, and some of them have just drifted, yeah, as it should be.
Yeah. And interestingly, that happens when you learn how to listen.
Mm,
And then now you can talk and listen. So now you have two skills that you can use. And then you're noticing who can do the same. And you're meeting that, which is exchange. And you also realize your own value. I am valuable. My time is precious.
yeah.
The fact that I actually hang out with you, gave you my time. You see how it comes back as the power back. It's like the fact that I gave you 2.5 hours of my time is big deal. And you don't think it's big deal. It's a massive
Mm,
deal.
hmm.
And I can do it once, twice, third time. I'm stupid. I'm ill, I'm not aware. So I'm not gonna do it third time.
Yeah.
I would rather spend that time. And I think this shift slowly from the social conditioning starts happening and occurring inside. It's like, oh, I would rather spend it with me. Why? Because I'm rich in treasures that I still have to discover. I'm gonna spend my time slow. And this is where that solitude becomes so much richer, and it slowly separates you because your way of thinking is not also something that can be digested by the crowd around you. So you move from one to another groups, and then, I actually wrote a beautiful post about it. I don't know if you saw it. And I said the same thing when
Didn't
you,
see.
it's almost like the deeper your discovery goes inside of you, the more unique your language becomes, which is less understood by someone else. And the sharing of two
Mm,
the friends can happen only until the sharing is mutual. Meaning, if you understand me to this level, you can understand. If you are going in the same level, we happen to cross paths. We can only understand each other. But at this point, the deeper both go, the friend masters almost to let you go because it understands your uniqueness. But you continue discovering your unique language, and you become less and less, almost like you almost like separate yourself so much that
mm,
you can feel isolated, but no, you're actually fully you, which is unique you. So you almost like come to acceptance of you having that unique expression inside of you, which you
mm,
desire so much to even further down develop.
mm,
And that's when it becomes the art, right? So because it becomes the art, and whoever doesn't get it doesn't get it. These who got it will understand and let you go easily because those are the masterful friends that know their own value. And then off you go alone further down. But it doesn't stop, right? So this is where it continues and enlarges even more. And it's meant to be that way. When there's so much noise of someone else, it's like you can't really find your own voice. What is your poetic voice? What is your artistic voice of a heart, you know? And we're lucky
Yeah.
we can feel everything through our heart because this is the different language. It is almost a new language that has to be birthed by your uniqueness and your unique expression.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I'm not even trying. You know, you try less and less to dive in, and then you become a book to read
Mm.
when time comes to someone to talk your language.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
So
This.
I think, sorry,
Go ahead.
go
What do you
ahead.
think?
I think you're a rich treasure to exchange with. Undoubtedly. No doubt in it. And the moment you start talking, people will just respect you even more for that which you have to say.
Thank you.
Let it be bombastic in nature. It should be, because that's the seed you put in someone. So now you contemplate about it, reflective. Like the beautiful, deep things are not washed away. They're actually, they penetrate and they ring and they echo for a very long time. And we need it. So,
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. And then there's an element of like that self-acceptance that you're kind of pointing to, along which you have layers of self-acceptance and judgment of saying like just because it was an idea of mine doesn't mean I need to die with it. It can just be something that came through me. Yeah. And and on a
mhm.
similar level, if you expand that out socially, it's like I might say something which is coming from a deep place when someone's in the middle of a rant and they might be like, oh yeah, and they might take it like in a shallow way and then continue on and have no contemplation with it. But like as you say, it's a seed planting somewhere subconscious or unconscious or conscious, but it's a seed and its value is in that it emerged and I gave it space to be.
Yeah.
And just that. And then it also works. I also find in that layer of self-acceptance, like it's like what are thoughts, you know? How can I possibly identify with this idea when I'm a culmination of all the things I've read, all the conversations I've had, the many experiences and even the dreams. So it's like how can I possibly claim it as mine and then get upset when someone doesn't get
Mhm.
what I'm trying to communicate? It's like it's not really relevant to the situation in the same way that the dreams that we experience as Pisces, we detach from because how can we possibly hold on to them and live our life? Like we would quickly just deteriorate and die if we attach to the dreams because the dreams are so big and magnetic. They pull us into realms and worlds that seem more real at times than this one. And so we're kind of living in a dream in a sense. And in what dream do we become attached and say everyone must hear kind of like a kind of like a dictator, like everyone must hear what I say, respond this way. I want to be understood fully. It's like, you know, it's dynamic. This even yeah, I'm getting sent down a rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah. 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 But I want to bring you back and I want to ask this because I'm curious. You know, when nobody wants to be changed. actually, not one person wants to be changed if you really think about it. So when elaboration about something comes as this is the way, you must do this for your betterment. It is absolute no. It's like in it's the immediate rejection. And I had to learn this as well. It's like, oh, I know more. Right. So I think this failure to connect with that person who we really want to help, aka
Mm,
change,
mm,
I think this process or this like in is actually I failed again and again and again and again and again. They shut me off, they shut me off, they shut me off. And then I started thinking, wait a minute, who am I to say, right? So who am I to change anyone? It got me back. I failed that many times that it got me thinking, oh, it's the way I tell them, as if
yeah.
I direct the arrow into them rather than, not even pointing an arrow. Right. So literally saying in generics, and this is where the conversation becomes very generic and philosophical. It's actually open for you to enter.
Mm,
And that I had to learn the skill to open up a conversation that is not judgmental, not directive, not, like directed arrowy towards someone, rather than open it up and it's up to you. Do you want to come? You're welcome to come and join me in this open conversation. So that's where I'm trying to find something to crack. And often, you know, if it's about them, then that will open them up. But at some point, they will just be them. It will just be their own world. It will not be different worlds that I live in, which is over together, all encompassing, rather than just that small little bubble. So if the bubble happens and I notice it, it's like they can only see that. Like you live in a village and you absolutely have no idea how it is to live in Los Angeles. It's like I cannot connect to the small centeredness and I can't put the entire universe and say, hey, the stars are possibilities. It doesn't
yeah.
compute, right? So at that point you just give up. But what I'm trying to say is like when it's directive and your Aries might be very much this way, right? It's like it's in nature is to find and dare to go first,
Mm,
right? And I think this fine tuning, you'll eventually get to the fine tuning when you're meant to bridge that jungle
yeah.
and literally rather than saying this way, opening it up and just I'm going. If you want to come, you're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
welcome.
Hmm. Yeah, it's much more action oriented instead of deliberation and talking about what to do, planning. Um, yeah, and I really view the Aries as a gift there because I don't really
Oh,
spend a ton of
totally.
time trying to change others, more so trying to just like express myself. And when I look back on it, when I deeply contemplate all of the awkwardness and the inability to express, it's usually because I don't know how to express in a certain setting the way that I want to, or like there's more to there's more to the story beyond just words, or there's more to the situation than the topic. There's more to this life than what we're stuck on. And like you said, it's like it's not leading people, it's not calling people to follow behind me. It's just going and doing it. And movement in general has been such a gift for me in that way because I find I feel most connected when I'm just doing my own thing with my body, like moving in space, like balancing on a log or trying to do handstands on the beach or launching myself into the waves or sprinting or, just any number of things. And even at like our play group for all the kids, and like we have families that get together and we have play groups, and I'm like the one who's just riding on the skateboard or doing the balance board or helping the kids climb a tree or something, and then everyone else is kind of like huddled up and talking. There's this like FOMO that happens a little bit until I get myself into that state, and then I'm like, there's nowhere else I would want to be. And if people want to join, they can join, but it's much more free now. It's not like it's not this attachment around, I don't have anyone to do it with, or I don't have. It's just like I'm just gonna do it. I'm just like the impulse
Yes.
arises to do a back bend, then I do it, and I'm like, yeah, that feels great, and then I move on.
Yeah. That's
It's
exactly
not,
Aries.
yeah,
You're actually always the first. Everybody's waiting for you. Think about it that way. Everyone is
yeah,
waiting for you.
firecracker,
100%. And
yeah,
what's actually funny, everybody is expecting that of you.
yeah,
It's
right, right, right.
rising. It's
Yeah.
like how you show up to the world. It's like everybody's
Mhm.
expecting this from you.
I feel
Exactly.
like it's just come online like this year, which is wild. I don't know if you had that experience with your rising sign.
Mm.
Oh, you're Gemini rising. So like when do you feel like it clicked for you?
The last 3 years. And
Mm.
it clicked, especially the more people told me I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right, right, right.
I was like, wow, you're
Which
actually
what's
so wrong.
what's the equivalent to Aries? Like someone saying,
You can't do
I
it.
just think, oh yeah, yeah, you can't do it.
There's no way you can do it.
Yeah.
And you're like,
It's like
watch me.
watch me. Yeah.
Yeah. But the same thing doesn't matter if it's body movement or anything, your way of thinking is also progressive, which is daring to start the fire.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's just a matter of time, my friend.
Yeah. Is
I love
so
it.
in human design jinkies, it's like I have the 3-5 martyr heretic. Do you think Aries is more martyr or more heretic?
What's the difference?
Good question. Heretic's like I'll say the thing even if it gets me killed, and martyr's like I'll
That
yeah,
one.
are they different? Yeah. Martyr is like dying for a cause, I guess.
Oh, no.
Pretty similar, I guess. Yeah.
No,
Or
no,
heretic.
it's not dying. Yes. Aries is, it will go there when nobody actually dares. It will part the clouds, it will part the ocean.
Hmm.
And everybody else then will go there. You're meant to do that. You're meant to pave the path. You're meant to do it first,
Hmm.
and the herd will then be like, oh, he survived, then we can do it too. If
Right.
you think so, and if you do it, then I can do it too. That's the herd mentality. You are not. You are off you go. Even if you die, you will do it.
Yep.
And here's the best part, you don't actually care for the cause. You need to
Oh,
do it.
yeah.
The Aries part doesn't care for the cause. Your
It's
Pisces
interesting
comes in,
balance.
and
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the Pisces has like the care. If I contemplate the difference. The heretic's like, I don't know, doesn't matter.
No, you just have to do it,
Yeah.
especially if you're challenged, if you're told you can't. So
Yeah, I was in a group.
use
Sorry, go ahead.
use these rejections.
Hmm.
They're meant there to push forward. That's how I use them. I was like, wow, my gift is actually communication. And you just told me I don't know what I'm talking about. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Brilliant. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It took me a minute to really actually lean into my own gift and start exploring and expanding on it. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, then that's not my fault.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
That's just you not understanding my language. It's that simple.
Hmm. Yeah. Letting go of the outcome and connecting with the essence of who you are.
Yeah. Your true uniqueness, oh, which is much needed in the world. Only the brave ones dare to go there where
Give
no
me
one wants
chills.
to go.
Yeah.
Got excited?
Give me chills. Yeah.
You're like, I can't wait to go in social setting right now again. Let's go. So good.
It's so funny because, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm like noticing the conditionings that have built up where it's like this, I feel the fire and the desire to like get burned or whatever. And I can just hear the conditionings of like, it's like use it in context or good in moderation. Like my dad always said to me, like balance is everything. Balance is key. I wonder if he's Libra rising, but like that's
But
his
you see,
perspective. And I'd always say, that's
mm,
your perspective. I'm gonna do my own thing. Like I
yeah.
understand, like as a Pisces, I understand that balance is important. But what I'm saying is we don't really know what to balance unless we push as far out as we possibly can. In my that's my perspective. So
Um, I don't think the balance is important for Pisces.
no,
That's
I wasn't saying it's important. I was saying I can sense it, I can see it, feel it, participate in it, like it's
hmm hmm
occurring. It's like
mm, I
the yin and
see.
yang will occur. So when I feel at the ends of the earth 2 days ago, like, oh my God, we're dying, we're not gonna make it out of here. We don't know where we're living. Money's tight. We don't have energy. We don't have power. And then I'm like, I know this is gonna swing back around and everything's gonna
Ah,
be hunky dory.
I see.
Like the balance is underlying all of it. And even if it doesn't come back around, there's just
Got it.
this
Got it. Got it.
sense. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
In that way, I thought you're limiting your Piscean nature, which is unlimited.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I want to point out, what just happened is that you split yourself in two. And coming back to this, like you almost became aware of what you're identifying with, the conditioning, which is everything, social, growing up and
Hmm.
everything else. And then what your true nature is. Now you're two, you're kind of bipolar, right? So you became quickly two. And this is where you choose which one you want to go. This
Hmm.
split moment of like, oh, I can recognize myself. I literally, you lit up, actually. You lit up. You were fire energy just a few moments ago. You were like,
Yeah.
I want to go. You were like itching to do something with that which occurred inside because you recognize it and you wanted to grab and hold on to it. But I love
Hmm.
this because you can see the split of that personality, which is the mind programming and your uniqueness that wants to come up
Hmm. Yeah.
unconditionally,
Hmm.
unquestionably. And watch, you only need one person who will see it to dare, right? Almost like, and this is, I think, so sensitive because as if we needed to be validated by one person or valuable to one more person other than self in order for us to sustain it and in the beginning of the stages because you will think you're crazy for doing that because you're alone in it. And if one person, this is what happens with the connection, the parent mother connection. I think it comes back to that. It's like you only need to know that your other is there, that one mother, that caretaker is there, and you will be fine to grow and survive, right? So we only need that one person to validate, to value what you value in you.
Hmm.
And off
Hmm.
you go. You don't need 8 billion people, nor a crowd or a village or three people.
Yeah.
You actually only need one. And the amount of energy that you, after that confirmation, grab and intake it. This is the parent trusting the kids to let go of. But
Hmm.
when my mom let me go in 20s, I trusted more her than I did myself, but she
Right.
trusted me. And I was like, do you think I can do this? Do you think I can do this? She goes, 100%. Didn't flinch. And because she said that, I took off in life, in world. So you only need that one person.
Hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. And thank you
So cool.
for being one of or the one person.
I love it. I think our conversations are so deep and meaningful and needed. The ability to open up a wider world into someone is a skill. People want to be penetrated deeply. They don't know how to.
Hmm. It's
There's
true.
a need to open up more. There's a desperate need. There's, you know how he says the meditations, all this is just technique to find a door to enter into
Hmm.
the world. And I love how he explained it into living in the room, trying to rearrange inside, which is this furniture inside the mind, and in Western cultures. And then Eastern culture comes in and says, we're not really trying to rearrange everything. I want a window or a door or a little hole in which I can exit the room, knowing the room is there. And I want the whole world, the whole exploration of everything else that there is down below, to the left, right, above, beyond, doesn't matter. I want out of this box.
Yeah.
That's what people need. The click, one penetrating thought that echoes hours later, and they will come back, even if it takes 5, 6 years later. Maybe not even with you, maybe someplace else.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a great example of the heretic that is Osho. Is like he just shit on all Western psychology with one concept, one story. Why stay in the box?
Yeah.
Label everything. And I wonder like how that, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, astrology's in there too, in a sense. We could assume that it exists outside the room, but you just essentially were like we're painting the walls to look like the outside because we still live in the mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how do you free mind? How do you make your mind free?
Hmm.
How is your thinking becoming freer and freer, more free? Is your mind thinking freely? What is the freedom to feel, to think? Anything you want, anywhere you want, anyhow you want.
As it is.
And it's actually, which is interesting, it's one thing that cannot be taken away from us, the way we think. They can
This
give
is
us bad food, bad water, bad what, air, everything material can be taken away from us, but the way that we think and feel can never be taken away from us. So why not free yourself to think more freely?
hmm. I'm reading this book right now. It's called Three Body Problem. There's a series, and in it, there's an alien civilization that's gonna take over Earth, and they're like on their way. It's gonna take like 400 years, and they send like a quantum device essentially that can interact and experience human all that's on Earth, and they are receiving it instantaneously, so they know exactly what's going on, what's being developed, what's being worked on, what defenses they're coming up with instantaneously. So it's like they have the upper hand. Um, one one little nuance, which I think this author is brilliant. One little like trick though of the culture of the aliens is they communicate, their thoughts are expressed outwardly. They can be viewed essentially. They don't need to like thought interpretation of how to communicate it and then interpretation of those words. So in a sense, they're completely transparent. And I
Mhm.
know we're doing Gene Key 59. I've been contemplating
So
transparency
good.
as well. Yeah. Um, Complete transparency in their culture. So they don't have a ability to like bluff or lie or conceal or hide. And so that's their understanding of the human mind is like it's hard to contemplate how we could do that or why we would need to. And there's this conversation about, is it a quirk of ours or is it actually like a gift? Is there like qualities that are useful in that ability? And then what's happening is humanity realizes any plans they make, any structures they create, anything they build will just be figured out and unraveled, and then they can be circumnavigated around by this alien civilization. So what they do is they um, designate four people somewhat randomly across the earth, like the UN comes together, four people, and they say you are going to be wall facers. This term relates to Eastern meditation of like just staring at a wall, having nothing. Essentially, they're designated from that moment onward. They have access to almost any resource that humanity has, and people are obligated to say yes to whatever their demands are. Their goal is to create only internally, to be alone in their contemplation of how to combat or disrupt or make humanity survive. But they can only have it within. They can share externally, but everyone else will not know if like this is part of your game to deceive. Are we playing? So like in the book, he said like the main character in this section says everyone he meets thereafter has this slight smirk, like a slight smile that they approach him with, and they agree with everything, but there's a slight smile and he just feels like this space between, because they're always thinking like, okay, is this part of your plot? Are you trying to, like, we don't know what's going on in your head and we're kind of just playing along, playing the role. Um, I forgot originally what you said that made me think of this, but
Free your mind, go beyond. Everything can be taken away from us other than the feeling and the
oh
thinking.
yeah, like the materiality. Um, and just in the contemplation, reading this book, I'm like, there's something here to be said about, yes, we are alone because we can't possibly share at that level of transparency that would make us feel completely understood. There's even like there's even a gap there with experience because we we have isolated experiences. But on the other side of the paradox of it is we actually can create magnificent worlds,
Yes.
right? And that's where the creativity
Yes.
and truly like like the tantra, I think, is this connection within, and we use tools and techniques to access something that is like we're
Beyond.
creators. Yeah, we are creators inherent, and it's like deconditioning to access it, but not to like claim anything or stick a flag in anything, but essentially to be deeply connected to the essence of who we are, like the truest essence. And I find that to be,
Mm.
it's like the paradox. It's disheartening that we can't possibly connect because that's all that we want, right? But then on the other side, it's like we yearn for it, yet we have the deepest connection we could ever ask for within us. Yeah. So how do we live with that?
Mm.
How do we exit the mind, as you say?
How do you free the mind?
Devotion freeze.
It reminded me, I want to share this. There's this journalist that I followed. She's on Gaia, I think I told you, Regina Meredith, and she, has been doing this work all her life. She lived in Sedona. She published two books and really brilliant. And she talks to a lot of souls that are mediums and channelers and all these things. So she created back in 90s this whole series of docu-series that Gaia bought from her, and then now she's one of the main journalists and interviewers at Gaia TV. So really, really interesting. She brings a lot of different authors and a lot of different people, including Blue was on her podcast actually, which was interesting. But she devoted her whole life on it. And in her recent interviews, she brings the Sheila, and Sheila and her husband are the channelers of the Theo group that comes from either Pleiadians or some other a galaxies, right? So, and Theo group has been doing this work for humanity for quite a long time. And in the recent interview, Regina would ask the question to the Theo group directly as Sheila is channeling. And she asked, are we like a big deal? Are we humans big deal in galaxies, in the universe? And that's serious. No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you think of being human is really not unique. And amongst 40,000 other like planets and like conscious planets, you're not unique. You're like, it's not, you're not special. And they go, you are not special. Don't think you are any special. Why I say this, because when you really come down to mind construct, it makes you feel so special. And it doesn't matter the galaxies and other universes and whatever planets like Earth, but we see the other person as totally different planet. I'm from Venus, you're from Mars, typical example. But why do I think I'm so special and unique compared to everybody else around me? Why? What makes me think that I'm unique and big deal? So I think that the humbleness and so arrogant actually. It's almost very isolating. And what isolates is that mind that thinks it's special,
Yeah.
that believes it's special. So that automatically isolates us from everybody else because I am different. I am no different. Same way like we are no different
Mm-hmm.
per them in any other earth-like earth-like experience elsewhere. We really
Yeah.
are not. And to even think that, when in doubt, zoom out. When to even think that we're alone in the universe is like mind blowing. Like mind has to think we're alone in the universe, but there's no way we are. So I love that he opens up to say, hey, you have thinkers that are logical and rational. And the entire world here in this dimension is very rational. And then you have poets and artists that are feeling type. And often they are also suppressed to be in this little crazy group of people that don't make money, that don't fit society, that feel something else that it's not accepted to the majority of people. And they're just like on the side madmen, placed at the side of the madmen. The other day I was thinking, it's like the only way for me to be part of society is to pretend I'm not mad. One option. The second one is to call myself artist, which is automatically boxed in the madman box for the society to accept me. So I actually have to accept the fact that I'm never going to make money as a poet, as an artist. Watch how crazy this is. Only because I feel everything much more and I'm too complex for the simplicity of the mind. So, what options do I really actually have to survive? What options do I have to survive? If I'm capable of feeling everything and even more beyond what my mind is. The moment I exit my mind is the moment I'm mad for society.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want the red pill or the blue pill?
Oh, I'm always going to be mad for society. That's
Yeah.
why I'm blah blah bullshit talker,
Mm-hmm.
which in my world that's not the case.
Right.
So what do you do you want to limit your mind or you want to free it? And once you get here, it's like there's okay, fine, I'll call myself an artist. Call me mad and crazy. And I'll chop my ear like Van Gogh as well, just because I have, right? But look how crazy. And then after my death, like every good artist, I'll be celebrated.
Yeah, maybe.
It's weird. Like it's too weird. Like what?
Yeah, the only thing I can think well, what's coming up for me in contemplating it is like, if we use the analogy of the room and then the open sky that's outside, and the room is the mind. It's just like a desire for safety. And then two, if I bring in his analogy that we make a noun out of the mind, it's
Mm,
mind. It is like something instead. Well, it's a verb. It's minding. We're minding.
process.
Yeah, it's a process. It's an active participation. It's something that's a part of us that we can't deny, but um it's a verb. It's dynamic. It's moving. And so like there's what I'm realizing lately is like what brings me deep peace is to do the deconstruction of reality in my contemplation, in my minding. So it's like, okay, it's all vibratory. Everything is dynamic, shifting and moving. Everything is vibrating at some frequency. We just can't, we don't have the senses available to be able to sense or operate or see it, to feel it. If that were true and we could feel it, we would be, I mean, who knows what we would be? We'd be potentially exploded out into the universe, or
Yeah.
we'd be at peace with the fact that it's all ethereal. It's all magic. It's really very magical. It's all
Hmm.
music, or it's all music. And so like this idea of a room is just complete child's play. It's so silly when you think about it. And even the identification of like, or the need to identify, the need to label ourselves, and the need to place ourselves in buckets, like either I'm an artist or I'm a useful tool of society. Either I'm safe or I'm crazy. Either, it's like we go on labeling, but it's all vibration. We're just participating in this song and dance. And so the artist, as we label it, is just more in tune with the song and the dance. And then you have this other side, which is a denial of harmony, this denial of the truest form of our existence, of what we are participating in, and that feels safe. But for the artist, it's the furthest thing from safe, because the illusion is what destroys. The illusion is what it cascades down the pain and the suffering and the trauma, the torture, down to generations, because only in that state of denial of reality can you possibly hurt another and hurt yourself, or deny yourself, or suppress, or call an emotion evil, or call an act something something that should be denied at all. It's just like, so I go back to deconstruction because it brings me such peace to know that this is illusion, like all, for the most part, what we're participating in is illusion to our senses, and then our minding makes meaning out of it, and then we form this collective organization around, like, okay, this, right, this is our reality. Like if I touch you, there's pressure, there's force, like there's solidity to this world, right? Meanwhile, it's like the space between atoms is vast. We're just existing in this like soup, this cosmic soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying I'm deconstructing the mind, which means you are going beyond the construct of the minding that you know. And look how unlimited the space is to actually attain. So it always reminds me the previous parts that he said, you have unhinged mind, which is full of chaos. It goes all over like a monkey. Then you have concentrated mind, then contemplative mind, then meditative mind. And it's all step lower down to less and less so you can open up more. And, minding is the gift in a sense that I think as well that can transcend, help us transcend it and go beyond. Right, because I can feel it when I feel things in when I feel things, I'm experiencing them outside my body, but I can't go beyond. I have to use my mind to help me go beyond its construct. So the mind itself is also, I feel, also able, and I read this somewhere as well. It's like it's the tool to be evolved into connecting to that which is beyond, not
Mm-hmm.
only the sense. So it can be used, it's just too young. So it's
Yeah.
almost immature in nature. It cannot be, it has to be it has to be taught. So imagine heart teaches the mind, which is occurring in
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
our experience. When I'm feeling, I'm teaching the mind how to not be.
Well,
And
the
the more
heart is, sorry, the
yeah,
heart is full of neurons and yeah. So it's like deconstructing. We place mind up here in the brain, and
yes.
but if
And
minding is a verb and it comes from this orientation of heart and brain, heart mind. Yeah.
yes, right. So heart, yeah, exactly. So I'm teaching, my heart is a mentor and my mind is a student. It's
Yeah.
like if anything that I can use that correlation, it's like this is what I'm gifted with, and I can do this. I can use these techniques, but I want to go beyond of what my mind thinks and believes, and I don't want to limit it because it has an unlimited power. And imagine how far it can actually go, only if it knew how to. So to me, the mind is a child that I, as a parent, a heart, have to teach and kind of teach almost how to take on the vastness, the larger construct than what is given in the society. And look how big it actually goes. We're talking entire society, entire culture, entire, parenting and schooling and education, all these layers, too small still to what
Mm-hmm.
it can be. So
Mm-hmm.
why think, believe in one when tomorrow you easily can change your way of thinking? Why would you stop unlimited options? And you come and you say for
Yeah.
the safety, and safety of what?
The heart.
Or safety of from dying. I want to feel safe so because we literally don't want to die.
Yeah.
And for because I don't want to die and I don't want to face the ending, I want to make sure I'm safe for tomorrow.
Yeah. And yeah, and I was just pointing to the heart because the heart is what feels
Yes.
the fear, the heart, and then as you feel the fear more, it elicits the cacophony, the paradox of emotions, and yeah,
And you
become an
can't
artist.
feel tomorrow. Yeah, you can't really feel tomorrow. You can fear tomorrow.
Right, right. Yeah. Tomorrow's illusion. Would it be cool to have like brainwave scanner, like I think it's EEG, is it called? During our podcast, and we could see that
That's what we,
brainwaves.
that would be so cool. Can we do it?
I think we can, yeah. Just have to look into the equipment. It'd be fun for the kids to have something like that too. Like, okay, we're gonna practice meditation. We're gonna try to get to gamma. Because as you were describing, like, okay, the states of chaos, monkey mind, contemplation, meditation. I forget. There's one more.
Concentration.
Concentration. Yeah, it's like like the four. Typically, it's banded like alpha, alpha, theta, gamma. Gamma being like deep meditation. I guess delta would be one too, like sleep. Anyway, yeah. I feel like I was reading the author's note at the end of this book, the science fiction book, and this he's a Chinese author, and I've never read a Chinese anything before, translated English, obviously, but you can like sense the difference in culture a little bit, like the speed of communication, the ability to just like kind of just like truncate and then just continue on and not deliberate too long. And in the author's note, he was kind of addressing the criticism that gets lobbed against science fiction from, I have to check, from the audience that would say like the best, what was it? I'll look into it because I don't want to muddle it. But essentially, he's saying like at the essence, the exploration of what already is so much more profound than we could possibly contemplate, and it creates like essentially like science to the truest extent of what science can bring us already has the deepest romance tales, like the origin of the universe, a black hole interacting with a star system, like at the level of scale and free, like these are like dramas. And the way he framed it, I was like, wow, this is like he's kind of saying like it's like a poetry, the science
Mm.
fiction. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm on a tangent. Devotion freeze. Did you want to say anything more on? You said you love that one. The technique of devote yourself, devotion freeze,
Oh, through love.
tantra. Yeah.
I always have something to say related to this. I love this one because in a sense, I know what he meant by it. And I also know how this feels to lose yourself and surrender yourself to the other. I think that comes very natural to me. And to a point
Mm.
where not that I don't want to talk about it, rather than I'm awaiting next time to experience it so I can go even deeper.
Yeah.
And I believe in it. I feel it so deeply that that's all I know how to do now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was just saying, I was at the gym the other day, yesterday actually. And it's so weird because, you know, you become untouchable in a sense when you understand these parts of yourself. Untouchable because
Yes.
people cannot meet you there. And you almost have to, what?
I can't wait to share this. Well, I will wait to share it. Sorry, that's not what I meant.
Oh, go
I will
ahead.
wait to share it.
No,
No, go ahead.
please.
No, please.
You almost fell off the chair. I want to know.
Okay. It would have been better if I had waited till you wrapped up, but it's fine. Um, I was talking to Carly about dance because I've been going to the dance, and the other night this woman just she wanted to dance with me so bad, and she tried everything to like almost like wrap me up, like she wasn't touching me, but she was just like so in my field, and I didn't, and I just like carried on, and I do my own thing. And I'm very like dynamic. I'm very shifty. I'm very dynamic, and I'm very hard to predict when I dance. It's just the way I like to do it. And I was driving home and I was laughing like hysterically. I'm like, you can't have me. Like I'm just this feeling of like it's just funny to feel pursued, but like know that there's no way you can possibly capture what I am. Like I'm just always gonna be moving beyond where you're and there's a way to unpack that. But that felt a little
Yeah.
bit resonant with what you're saying.
But to add to that, the more untouchable you feel, meaning, okay, let me backtrack. The deeper you get to know these parts of you, the more untouchable you are to the environment, which makes you more desirable.
Yeah, that's part of the laughter I had. It's like, oh,
And but you see, and then now you're becoming a expression of that which is hidden inside of them.
hmm,
And in you, they see the part of themselves that they desperately want to discover by touching you or coming closer to you,
yeah,
right? And in a sense, when you experience deep love of self,
yes,
so deep,
hmm,
you want to give it away And here is another thing. You can you know exactly who you can attract. It actually shows up on its own when it's time, as if the frequencies are blending the ocean apart, and suddenly there's a right moment, right person, right thing, right everything. Everything aligns. And when that aligns, you're literally just surrendering fully to the experience. There's nothing you can do. And this
Mm-hmm.
happens, and I say this happens in women who love women relationships really fast
Mm-hmm.
because the heart is ready.
Right.
And when it's already in the blossom, the smells, we almost, it's no longer bodily, right? So it's like, it's so deep that you meet there in the
Mm-hmm.
depth and you recognize alike, right? You recognize alike energies. And if I am able to not devalue the mind, but let it rest and enter into the depths of myself, I can only attract that which also recognizes the depth of itself, which by default, everybody else, again, will feel attracted to, feel untouchable, feel attracted to, for whatever reason that it's activated inside of them. And I can see I can see the temptation in others to come closer to me. And I can also see the impossibility for them to come and meet me at that level. Yet the desire and temptation still lives inside. So there is no way they can go down. There's only a way for me to go up to their level. And the
Mm.
choice then becomes, do you want to stay where you are? And if you stay where you are, of course, you maintain your untouchability,
Yeah.
right? So I think the deeper desires for something beyond are really untouchable and rather
Yes.
meant for the law, a much bigger law that beyond the mind, where our conscious merges and we become one. And let me just go beyond that too, where even more than laws allow. And I can't plan this. All I can do is just be ready for it when it hits me real hard. So,
Mm-hmm.
are you single? I was like, by choice. But my choice is deeper choice because when it hits me, I will no longer have a choice. I will lose myself to that, which I devoted myself over and over again. Why would I say no to that which loses me completely and dissolves me? Why would I say ever no to that which helped me, find a
Mm-hmm.
part of me? Sure, I'm back to living it, living this life, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
devoted to that which is the expression of something beyond that I can comprehend. I would never say no to that.
Mm-hmm.
So devotion frees and I can be devoted, right? So the devotion is no longer a human form. It is not even the God itself. It is something that you experience deeply that dissolves you. The devotion to free you, the devotion, that devotion to spirit that frees you. And it comes in to me, it's expressed in the connection of two souls met at a deeper level in which we no longer have a say. We literally have no words other than and I remember how it feels for every single round of it. It
Mm-hmm.
feels magical. It really feels magical to be in love. Why would we say no to love? The falling when in love, falling, free, falling.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot to write about it. And I think this is where my expression, my poetic expression comes in actually. Out of that experience, I can write and write and write, and I will still not even come closer to it. But yet my language for it changes. Yep.
So you were approached and asked directly, and you had to kind of like have a stance in a sense to be untouchable and to be untouchable at that level to say I will not like water down just so you could reach me. Is that what happened or
the depth of self in which I connect in devotion to the essence of love is stays present. So unless that depth is felt viscerally, there's no deeper connection. I can connect on a bodily level, but that is not what I'm
Hmm.
devoted to.
So, but you were asked directly by someone.
Hmm.
You had to answer. How did you have a difficulty in answering? Because you're like you're coming from this depth and then having to communicate in a way
Uh-huh.
that they'll understand. Or were
Yeah,
you just kind
I
of like ruthless? Like,
no thanks. No, I was very welcoming to it. So I usually just say, often I just shortened the expression, the description of what it can be, because I can go for days. And then I say, I think you should just try and open yourself up to experience. And this often comes with women who have never experienced being with another woman.
yeah.
And often those women will come, I wish you're a man in a woman's body. That is just too silly to say. It's like, but I'm not. And the fact is that you feel something with me who is woman,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So just like you don't even have to
It's a
say it.
weird comment. Yeah.
But there's a curiosity that you can sense, right? So you almost recognize the curiosity for them to go a little step, an inch further and to allow themselves. I think this like little mini playing at the edge is really like, you can see it in the eyes, their whole posture changes. It's like total body, like curiosity in which then I can connect with them. Coming back to how do you connect with someone? So you get curious about them, what's happening. But to that, I have to actually pay attention to the whole thing. I'm able to pay attention to what is occurring and then able to penetrate that deeper. And I'm not teasing. I'm just asking if are you open? It's
Hmm.
a simple question. No. Well, maybe one day you will. Open general question because there's nothing I can tell you and I will only tell you it's way different. You will once you get cracked open to that, then you're cracked open to more. That's it. I'm not really saying you're wrong or right.
Hmm.
And I don't have the visceral reaction, which is interesting. Okay, can I give you the story?
Hmm.
My hair was growing out, and the comment was, "Oh, your hair is growing out." And I was like, "How was the longest hair that you have?" And I said, "All the way up to my ass. I had a really long hair." And they were like, "Really? Okay, show me." And then I showed the picture. And then I asked, "Would you date me here or would you date this?" That's all I ask. And they're like, "Oh, no, I don't date women." Okay, fine. Easily. I actually don't even know why I ask out of joke because I'm a different person, right? So who would you date? It was the
Yeah. Yeah.
question.
Hmm.
They're like, I don't date a woman and just walked away abruptly. Well, to me, that is very curious reaction. To me, there's more in
Yeah.
that reaction than
Yeah.
anything else. And I can't push for it. You have to be ready, but at least you know where you can come to be ready. We can talk about it. We don't have to do anything. It's like, why are you so afraid? Is my question. What are
Yeah.
you so afraid of? And the
Uh-huh.
other girl didn't react at all, which was very steady. And the third one was like, "Oh, yes, I would date that." The long hair girl. Then I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"But it's the same person. It's just the physical change." It's like, "You wouldn't date me now?" It's like, "What's the difference?" So there's so much to be curious about in this like silly little surface-based question. Who cares? I
Yeah.
don't feel anything for anything because I'm deeply down rooted in me, but we can get we can exchange and try to get deeper if we can, but
Hmm.
it doesn't happen. Love does not occur like that, so to me
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like clear.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, Carly and I did like tantra eye gazing
Nice.
yesterday. Yeah, it was so beautiful. It was like we've tried it before, and I feel like in trying it, like, oh, this is something that we're supposed to do, or this is what other people do, or like this is, and I just opened it. I said, I showed her a video kind of explaining it, and I said, this is something we can do within a larger context. Like we don't have to become identified with it. And I was saying it more for me, and that she can see that I'm not becoming attached, because what I've done in the past is like, okay, Gnostic, white Tantra, like this is who I am, this is the only way we're doing it from now on, like this sort of thing. Um, so it's a different approach, much more open. And during the eye gazing, I'm just feeling like the instruction or like the contemplation was like, think about what conditionings are coming up, what desires you have, and just let the desires be there and watch what happens with them. Like, don't like just notice how strongly it's coming up or what's coming up or all these things. And just in eye gazing alone, I was like, oh, like the normal conditionings, like, oh my God, I want you. Like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, like I want to kiss her. I want to grab her. I want to, and then even like, okay, what is she thinking about? What is this? Like, just the monkey mind in eye gazing goes crazy until this point of stillness, in which, like you said, with reaching the depth and meeting yourself at at this deeper level, you're kind of just like swimming. The current is doing the work. The current, largely, the current is moving you, and you're kind of just propping yourself up and going with the flow in that sense. And I didn't realize how much conditionings were brought, like, were just like carried through all my experiences, with like masturbation, porn, even sexual connection with some of my first girlfriends, and how it just carries through, even if I'm acting differently, even if I have different intention, how much the conditionings are underlying everything and how that changes the relationship that we have, the intimacy that we can carry, and also my own connection with myself. Because it was like, oh, like there's deeper waters here that I didn't know existed because I was only just, all this frantic activity. I'm only swimming at the surface. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
all of this exists underneath. And how cool of a tool that eye gazing is, because it brings it all up to the surface to be worked on or to be witnessed or to just be. I think that's a big part of it too, of like having the expectations about what you need to do or how you need to be or how you need to look or what body language you need to bring to the experience. All of it just melts away. It's like what is can just be in this moment. Um, so that was deeply healing for me, and I think it was deeply healing for her as well. And I think
Mm,
it, like devotion frees, it felt very freeing for both of us in a sense
mm.
to feel devoted to one another, but also to understand it's really not about, for me, it's not about her, and for her, it's not about me. It's wild how intimacy can bring you deeper into yourself. Yeah.
It's never about the person.
Hmm.
It's actually not about the person. It's about the experience of that which is happened to happen with that person in front of
Hmm.
you. So when a man comes in, I worship my wife. It's like you're so far
Yeah.
away from
Yeah.
self, right? So because you're giving the power to that person in front of you. So the devotion becomes devotion to the experience of self that is activated through this technique or through this
Hmm.
vehicle in front of you, through this person, right? So through this energy. And I just want to point out it's very hard. Well, from what I understand, for men, you guys activate in a different part of your centers. We activate here.
Hmm.
And when we activate with the heart, if a male can drop into the heart activation, then the mind is totally gone. You don't have agenda.
Yeah.
And mind with no agenda is the free mind to not be, to not chase, to not do and get there. No target, no achievement, no orgasm, nothing to conquer. Then you can
Hmm.
drop into the body of experience. So your eyes become wider, and you know how he says you blink less when you're lost. You lost your mind.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
blink less, so your eyes become wider, and you enter into the space of feeling, and you literally can widen, your chakra, your heart chakra, your
Mm-hmm.
space, your energetic heart, and then you're slowly diving into this energetic spirits, right? So you're almost feeling one another, which stops the stops the time.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes now, you're talking soul to soul through the eye. You're entering beyond the eye, the world which is beyond the mind, and that is, like you said, very healing because you're present in a different sense of self. Your other parts of self are now there, activated, and you are participating with it, experiencing yourself differently by gazing to someone else's eyes who is also doing the same thing. So to meet at the same time, in the same length, wavelength, in the same depth, widening is holy shit experience. And it's way beyond the a reptilian urge,
Yeah.
right? So, or, animalistic sex urge for it. So I think males are, it's, you guys are having so much more to work to get there,
Yes. Yeah. It is.
which is that what you just said. I had to stop myself, remind myself, stop myself. It's like in the meantime,
Mhm.
we're here. Easy. It's like, come
Yeah.
on, hurry up.
Yeah, it became clear to me
Yeah. Yeah.
how, I've thought that I had that figured out for the most part. I thought I had intimacy figured out, and it's probably the hardest thing for a man to do is to open his heart in that setting.
Well, you're gifted as Pisces for it.
I
That's
know.
why
I
male
recognize it.
Pisces,
Yeah.
look how much, I mean, you are gifted with it. You just have to figure out how to get to it, right? And that's why
Mm-hmm.
I think Pisces men get really bad reputation for just being so different. But you're gifted with this. So you have capacity to do it. You just have to figure out a way to drop into it.
Mm-hmm.
But many men don't. It's like unless you conquer, it's same thing, same drive. That's
Yeah.
it. But yeah, in a sense, men are very easy, not so
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
complex.
Mm-hmm.
When you really think just two centers to manage, almost like they're manageable. They're trickable, right? So they're very
Mm-hmm.
prone to manipulation, literal manipulation. But this you can't trick.
Right. Right. Beautifully said.
Mm, yeah. But you're watching a complexity of women. That's why it's hard to date another woman because you're literally threatened by it. And also
Yeah.
because you're talking in front of another power and potential. So you almost, yeah, it's dangerous. Women are so dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Mhm.
And that's
Dare to
why,
date one.
yeah. And I feel I've heard comments before from other men towards Carly or towards other women that were like, "You're so manipulative," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like confused by that, and I get where they're coming from. It's like the victimization of self in that relationship, or the inability to conquer, right? And then what do? You attack. So
Tail between your legs and you become
yeah,
miserable. But when you now look into someone else's power, you really have to go down beyond the layers, even of competitiveness. Because
yeah,
once you shed off all these thick core of layers programming, even between the women, it's like I don't longer can connect with woman who wants to compete with me at all, actually. Like that's
yeah,
why they either want me or they hate me. And majority of the time they hate me. But
yeah.
when you want me, you want me on that level, which I can offer. And there's nothing. There's
Mm-hmm.
only an experience of dissolve of everything. And it's powerful. So
Mm-hmm.
powerful that you can die.
Yeah.
You want to die. There's no reason behind it. There's nothing beyond it. It's like that powerful. It's like,
Yeah. I had to, and yeah, and I had to give Carly, I'm like, thank you. I'm like, thank you so much. And just for being willing to put yourself there because I know for her, it's like laundry, the kids are on tablets, there's food to cook. I know that she also has to, it's hard for her to like put that aside, put life aside to, because there's the death and there's like, well, what happened, like, we have time, you just let go, you have to let go all of it. Otherwise you're not going to reach to that level. It's so, like you said, yeah, it's a great analogy. And so there's like, I have deep gratitude for someone who's willing to die with me in that moment, to die and
Mm,
go there.
yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Keep dying.
Yeah.
Make sure that's the like have time
Yeah.
for that, for it to experience it over and over again through love and intimacy. And it's such a powerful thing. I don't know
Mhm.
any other way to die than that way.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. This was beautiful. Well, we took 2.5 hours. Wow.
Wow.
You're gonna love 57th. See you Sunday.
59. See you then.
59. Bye.